Welcome to the Middle Room Workshop. Today I'm going to show you the best way to engrave glass with your diode desktop laser engraver. Without further ado, let's get into it. I have already posted a video about engraving glass in the past, and in that video I've been explaining the reason behind the difficulties of engraving glass, and I've been also experimenting with some of the methods that I've been trying, and ultimately I've been giving you what I thought was the best solution at that time. Now in the same video I've been receiving a bunch of comments from you guys. Some of you has been suggesting other techniques, which I went ahead and tried, and finally I think that I found the method, the technique that works the best, flawless and spotless each single time. Now, before getting into the actual process, which you will see is actually very simple, if you haven't seen my other video, I'll just give you a brief explanation on why engraving glass is so difficult and how we are actually going about it. You see, laser engraving or laser cutting relies on a beam of light, which is produced by some source. Now, in the case of a desktop laser engraver, we got a diode, which is producing this beam of light, which is then focused through lenses into a tiny spot. Now, the tiny spot has a very high temperature, and the point the height where it happened to fall while it is working, it's basically either vaporizing or burning the material. So in the case of wood, it's a simple burning, combustion. In the case of other materials, it's a real vaporization. Now, the same applies with glass. The problem with glass is its nature. You see, in order for the material to be worked out by a laser, it has to absorb that light, which is then converted into heat, and then all of the process goes along. So the thing is that the glass is transparent by nature, and we all know that's the reason why we are using it for windows. So we are allowing the light to get through and to lighten up our rooms, our houses. And so the thing is this: most glasses, they will allow more than 90 to 95% of the light to basically pass through. And pass through or transmit, it means that only the remainder is actually absorbed and converted into some other form of energy, most likely heat. Okay? And so that small percentage is actually not enough to affect the glass whatsoever. Now, in my other videos, I've explained other laser technologies that actually will work without problems. But now the story is that because of the specific diode technology and the wavelength, there is no way to engrave glass without using a trick. Now, the trick is an interference surface. So the surface where you want the engraving to happen, to take place, it has to be in contact with something. That means in turns that actually the laser, it's burning or vaporizing, or anyway, the light is being converted into heat, into the layer that is basically touching the glass, and then that heat is being transferred to the glass itself, which then etches away. So this is the techniques, and in my previous video I've been showing you as an ultimate best way the use of a masking tape. And so if you basically lay a layer of masking tape on top, that masking tape will burn away, and in the process will generate the heat, which will then etch the glass away. The problem with masking tape is that although it is working and you actually can use that. It doesn't always give the expected result. Sometimes you have some flows, and the flows are given by the masking tape itself. So you see, the masking tape is not an even layer. The masking tape is a multiple layer, also because it's made out of paper. So it's a multiple layer of material, including the adhesive side, and oftentimes you get micro bubbles of air which remain trapped into actually in between the glass and the tape itself. The other thing is, if the area that you are intending to engrave is larger than the tape itself, you will need to basically put a few rows or columns depending on the orientation of this tape. And the point of stitching, the point of where the two basically straps are meeting together, this will oftentimes create a line artifact into the final result. So that's something that you could easily cope with, but if you want something that is spotless, the masking tape is not the way to go. Now, the method that I was suggested, and I'm very happy now with it, I'm using it all the time, it's spray coating. So the typical spray on a can, which is applied to the glass, and then it's removed after the laser engraving process is done. And so this is actually very easy. All you will need to do is to get your glass, identify the area where you want the engraving to be, clean it up with some product. If you have alcohol or isopropylic alcohol, it works very good. Just rub it a little bit with some kitchen paper or some other material, just to clean up all of the grease out of it. Once that is done, leave it to dry, just to don't have any traces of alcohol in there or other products. Then it is time to spray coat it. So now, if you're living on a flat, as I do, that's not something that you would want to do at home. So if you have a balcony or a terrace, I suggest you to go there, to take a box, put your glass inside of the box, and then do the spray job there. Otherwise, if you can go outside on the street somewhere where you don't bother anybody, just go ahead and do it. I mean, don't do this at home, because the gas that is coming out, it's actually toxic. The product that is coming out is actually toxic, and so you don't want to breathe that at home. And so once you took all of the precautions, you can basically spray one even layer. Okay, you will need to place yourself about 20 to 30 centimeters from there, or 1 foot away from the surface of the glass, and you can apply the coating. Then you can leave it to settle. That's gonna take some time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it is basically dry and ready to go. Once it's done, you can put it onto your laser machine, adjust the height of your module in order to adjust the focus, and you can start the engraving. Now, here you will need to experiment with your specific machine about the actual parameters. Now, what I found with the NEJE 3 Pro with the laser A40640 is that I was able to increase the speed compared to the speed parameter that I was previously using with the masking tape method. And so this is basically a good thing, because that means that you can run your engraving faster. Okay, and so with this particular laser module, which is approximately 10 watt output, I was able to get away with 1000 millimeters per minute, 90% of the power, and since it was an image, I was in Jarvis mode, and I was at the 0.1 millimeters of vertical spacing interval. Okay, now with the 5 to 5.0 watt laser module, these are other machines that I own, I've been also trying, and you get away with approximately 500 millimeters per minute, 90%, similar method, Jarvis 0.1 millimeters of vertical spacing interval. And so now this is something that you will want to test obviously with your machine, also because it will be highly dependent on the size of the spot of your laser. So it is something very important to try. And this is pretty much all. Now once you are done with that, I realized the first time I did it that actually if your layer of coating it's even and nicely spread, it's actually a cool effect. And so if you want to go with that effect, you can actually leave it as it is. It will be very nice. However, if you simply want to have your glass transparent with the hedged part, you will just need to go ahead and clean that up. Now, here is the thing. If you painted and worked out your engraving like in matter of a couple of hours, chances are that you can remove the layer of coating with a little bit of hot water and a brush or a sponge. However, if you left it to settle for a few days, then the coating is been hardening, and so in that case you will need to use some acetone or nail polish remover. And so that will be also very easy to do. Alright, and that's pretty much the way you do it. Once you're done, you will have your beautiful engraved glass. This is obviously something that you can also apply onto curved glass, if you will. Alright, I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, click the thumb up button below. If you have any comment, leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Ciao for now!